Hey there, sixth graders. So today we're going to be practicing using what we know about fraction division and using it for decimals. But we're going to start off with some fraction division to remind ourselves how that works. So divide 1/2 by 1/10 and use a tape diagram. So let's get our tape diagram going. Alright, so here are my tenths, and I'm going to color in one of them because that's what I need. So I've got 1/10, and I know the value of that 1/10 is 1/2. So what I'm trying to figure out is what's the whole darn thing worth. So each of these guys is 1/2. 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. Which means that all told I have 10 halves. Now I don't accept that. 10 halves? Well, let's see. Let's reduce that. Let's divide them both by 5. And if you do it to the bottom, you have to do it to the top. So, okay, we're going to divide them both by 2. Because we've got a 2 in our denominator. And the only thing you can divide 2 by is 2 in itself. So divide them both by 2, and we get 5/1. Or, as we like to call that, 5. Alright, now hold on to your thoughts, because we're going to scroll down. So we're going to relate our model to the invert and multiply, or as we call it, the cheat method. So our cheat method would look like this. 1/2 divided by 1/10 is the same as 1/2 times 10/1, because we only flip the second fraction. So we multiply across, we have 10 times 2. Hey, is that familiar? 10/2, 10/2, and then we reduce. 5/1, and then 5. And gosh, haven't we seen that somewhere before? Nice. So now let's try this with decimals. So we have 5/10 divided by 1/10. So if you'll notice, 5/10 is equivalent to 1/2, and 1/10 is equivalent to 1/10. So this is the problem we just solved. So this is still 1/2 divided by 1/10. But since we're solving it with decimals, we can write it like this, because remember, the fraction bar is really a fancy division sign. And then, do you see it right there? 5/1. 5/1, just like we ended up with. And that equals 5. And we're back to the same place. Cool. So before I turn you loose, I want to point out how they accomplished this. So look at this example. So we have our division problem with decimals. We turn it into a fraction division problem. And then we multiplied it by 10/10. Now remember, multiplying 10/10 is the same as 1. And does multiplying something times 1 change the value? No. 2 times 1 is still 2. 4 times 1 is still 4. 27.8 times 1 is still 27.8. So when we multiply it by 10/10, we're not changing the value, we're just making it easier to deal with. Because instead of 18 6/10 divided by 2 3/10, we have 186 divided by 23. And that's much easier to deal with. So I want you to try that same strategy on this problem right here. Once you're finished, raise your hand and I'll come take a look.